The devs have graced us with yet another entry to the diary here as we all await Season 8 of Riders Republic, and this time they highlighted the insane amount of attention that went into constructing the deck. Welcome back to episode 89 of the Riders Report.
Before we get started today, we want to recognize our existing YouTube members. A special thank you goes out to executive producers Bonecrusher 2D, Coach 34, and my mom, co-producers Captain Snowbeard and Kelavepa, and our fans and Fans Plus.
If you'd like to become a member for as low as 99 cents a month and help support our channel, you can hit join below to learn more about perks like early access to the Riders Report, emojis and badges, a members only video per month, sneak peeks, and more.
Season 8 of Riders Republic is launching on September 26, and it will bring the skateboard edition, replay mode, and a few other treats. You can purchase the DLC separately, or if you're new to the Republic, you can check out the different game editions to buy in the link down below.
All right, so let's get right into it. The devs released yet another dev diary. It's the second one in the series. This one released on September 1st, so just a few days back. But yeah, it's focusing on the construction and all of the mindset and the planning that went into the deck, which honestly is a whole lot more detailed than I ever would have imagined.
It's always cool to hear and see the level designers in action. There's some really cool shots where you can see they have the game pulled up and then they're going through pictures on Google Images or another search engine and seeing skateboard photos and videos, comparing it to the game. And then they can make some changes to the engine and test it out right away. And they go a lot more in detail on how they actually design areas like this and why doing it for skateboard is different than what we have so far in the Republic.
Yeah, and we're not going to take all of the thunder and talk through the entire video. Apologies on the pronunciations, but Davud and Verena are wonderfully articulate in their description of what goes into this. So I urge you to go watch their 4.5-minute video on this as well. We're just going to kind of roll through the hits here. Like you said, skateboarding is a completely different sport than anything that exists in the Ridge right now. So they had to come at it from a completely different perspective. And I loved the quote early on. They said, "We realized that skaters, when they skate when, where, and what they want to. There's no clear-cut explanation of like, oh, well, you're a snowboarder, so you're going to stay on snow, right? So we know that you can do that. Skateboarders can do a bunch of different kinds of terrain and a lot of different kind of disciplines from park to, urban skating."
Yeah. And like we said, comparing to other sports, skiing, snowboarding, you need hills to go down. Bikes you'll see out and about as well, but they typically need some bigger ramps. Skateboarders, I know we have them sometimes in our parking lot because we have a couple curbs that are really cool, or we have a building with kind of a ramp going up to the side. And you'll see a couple guys just hanging out for hours, just trying to do some cool stuff on a little feature. And so skateboarders will, like they said, go wherever they can to just hang out, chill, try and hit tricks for a while. And you don't need hills for that. So they have to get creative with a lot of the flat area that's around.
Yeah, and as a level artist, your goal is to provide a space that gives the player what they're looking for. When you're building an X Games park, when you're building a Vans park, that's kind of clear cut, right? You know roughly how many features, how many rails they usually have, how many bowls they have, how many quarters you can put in there. And that kind of, you can kind of feel out the balance there. But because they're not just doing one park, we have a Vans park, the X Games park, a warehouse, an open air. Like there are so many different elements and places to ride, different disciplines, that you needed to give the riders a little bit of everything everywhere. So, maybe they're not on the big ramp in the X Games. Maybe they're just going between the two parks. These developers decided to give you elements to skate even on the pathways through the different districts, so that there's always something to do. There's always creativity around, and you don't need to just be funneled into like, oh, this is the event space, this is the event ramp. Let's all hit this. Let's line up and take our turns. No. Mitch is over there on the pathway doing his thing. Steep's over there crushing the big ramp, and Nick is falling flat on his face in the bowl. There's something to do for everybody at all times.
And one of the big things you get with skateboarding too is doing manuals and switching around and just doing, kickflips and other little tricks on flat pavement. So they want those areas where you can just express yourself on the skateboard in the open and then go over to maybe a bench or just a little bit of a curb or a planter or tree box and hit that if you'd like to, or go towards one of the ramps and include that in your line, but you don't have to focus on it. So there's lots of area to express yourself between everything on the map too.
Yeah, I believe they called that the anti-space. It was the space that, not the main focal space, but they still wanted to make that skatable. They wanted to make it fun and engaging because, this culture is very make it up as you go. Don't tell me what to do. Don't try and confine me. I'm going to make this line my line. So I'm very excited to see how all of the riders handle these anti-space areas. It seems like a lot of mental preparation, a lot of trying to get inside of skateboarders' heads went into planning this, whereas the rest of it, it's terrain, right? You kind of know you can build a mountain, you can put these kind of features, put this kind of rock, put a kicker here, kicker there, big pipe to grind. But this, like you said earlier, it's flat. This is man-made stuff. So they not only needed to make it functional on a flat surface and engaging to look around and ride, but they're also trying to sell the deck as one big area that is spaced into 6 different districts. So they had a lot of through lines through the visual elements that they were using, like the reclaimed wood that we've been talking about at length for the past 3 months here. That was a conscious effort to have a through line through all of these different parks. The reclaimed wood is kind of what pulls them all together. So you feel like you're in the same spot, but you're in a completely different district within the deck.
It's cool to see that they talk about working close with the sponsors, but the X Games and Vans parks feel distinct because of how they're laid out. They also use different tones of wood that kind of reflect the real competitions. And then the more skater built or Republic built areas use wood, but it's not perfect. It's different colors. It's thrown together a little bit. There's trees and plants and grass growing off of things. So they have that feeling of it being scrapped together, a nice open transition area. And then the parks that kind of came in and maybe Vans and X Games said, this is a cool spot. Let's put a competition here and kind of build it up for the riders.
We were talking a little bit before we recorded today's episode about the anti-space and how they're tying all of this together, how those big wide open areas were, they were thought, they were created purposely. They weren't just put there like, oh, we need a spot, let's put a courtyard here. They did that all on purpose. And you brought up a quote from Miles Davis that I think can wrap up this entire main topic. Music or skateboarding is the space in between the notes. It's the space in between the tricks. And that speaks volumes, not only in the music realm, which we are both coming from, but in the skate realm as well. It's the stuff that you do that's not the main feature, that's not the rail, that's not the pipe. It's, like you said, the little kick flips off of the park bench, all of just your ground tricks with you and the board, that kind of stuff that adds the real flavor to a run.
That's why I'm really excited to see the edits that come out of this too.
Yeah.
You get it with music, you get it with really great speakers too, who give speeches, presentations, or rallies. It's not people who can just talk the fastest or play notes on the trumpet the fastest or do quad flips and corks and everything just back to back to back. The ones that you usually take away the most are someone who can do that trick, but then hold back and kind of build the tension and just stay quiet. And then when they do something, it's more impactful because they intentionally did it and they throw little bits of flair in there.
Yeah, and we've said it for the past couple of episodes as well as we review these different districts of the deck coming to Riders Republic in Season 8 here towards the end of the month. We will be hosting Tartiflette Games events in this area, in the deck location. And I cannot wait to see, just not only our competitions, the community as a whole, but I'm going to be a little selfish. I can't wait to see what our riders throw down in these big open areas. Like you said, the ability to compose a run isn't just all of the big flashy. It's what you're doing in the in-between as well. It's the subtlety. It's choosing when to hold back and not hit that feature and save it for the next big one, telling a story as you go. So as we get closer to September 26th, we will be coming up with some more ideas for Tartiflette Games, trying to iron that all out. We want to give everyone a little time to explore the deck before we just hit you over the head with a competition. But just know that it is coming in the back half of 2023. The Tartiflette Games will definitely return to Nick and Mitch and Riders Republic, especially at the deck. Stay tuned for that.
This week, we had more submissions in the self-promo channel in our Discord server. So throughout the episode, we've had some videos from Jumping Jack playing in the background. I know we saw a lot of tricks battle from him. And to finish out the episode, we're going to show some pictures titled First Attempt from Low Key Gaming. He's been working more with the photo mode and editing pictures, and they are just some gorgeous shots. So we wanted to share them with everyone.
Yeah, these are some high contrast shots. Low key, I've said it in the chat as well, but we can't wait to see more. We can't wait to see the progression of pictures. If this is something that really caught your eye as a rider. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much to the folks who are giving us content to feature in these episodes. If you have some videos or photos you would like shared in the next Riders Report, you can drop them down below in our Discord link. We have a self-promo channel on the Discord server. Nailed it. Where you can drop them there and give us credit. Let us know how you want us to give you credit. There we go. Thank you for joining us for episode 89 out of our first 100 guaranteed episodes of the Riders Report. Special thanks, as always, goes out to our YouTube members, executive producers, Bone Crusher 2D, Coach 34, and Mitch's mom, along with co-producers Captain Snowbeard and Killa Vapor, and our fans and Fans Plus.
And if you want to become a member like them, just hit join down below and it helps support our channel. We put it all back to make some really cool content, and you'll get some stuff too, like early access to the show, emojis, badges, members only stuff. That's all listed when you hit the join button. You won't join first. It'll show you all the cool stuff. If not, you can still just subscribe. That helps us out too, because we've been growing pretty quick in the last few weeks, and you'll catch all of our Riders Republic episodes posted on Wednesdays and whatever else we do. So the Tartiflette Games, and we've been doing more Formula One commentary on Thursday nights, and we've seen some people come back to watch those.
I was going to say, hey, racing fans, we're branching out a little bit. Thursday nights, 9:30, typically 9:30 p.m. Eastern daylight time, right? EDT?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
something
EDT.
Like
9 p.m. over on the East Coast. If you want to tune into the channel, we are live streaming Midwest Esports Formula One racing. It's been exciting. It's been a little different than what we're used to here on the slopes. But yeah, you can come over and watch us learn those ropes in the moment. Thank you for joining us once again. We'll see you back here, same place, same time next week for episode 99 of our not first, not second, but third Ubisoft Riders Republic Steep related podcast. We're hitting episode 90 once again. Please be here. We can't wait to have you. But until then, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
And we'll see you on the slopes.